Hello, thank you so much for being part of Joyasonyelive this evening. Thank you for joining. Today we'll be talking about the off-season elections that are coming up. How ready is Nigeria, the umpire that is in charge? I mean, as Bayelsa, Imo and Kogi governorship elections gear up preparations for the November 11th, 2023 off-circuit polls. Observers, civil society organizations, concerned citizens across the globe have urged the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to ensure that the many challenges that marred the credibility of the 2023 general elections are not repeated. How ready are they? What are the key performance indicators that should give us confidence that at last we would have that hitch-free elections as these three states are gearing up? Well, that's what we'll be discussing with my guests, there are two in the studio today. Dr. Barry Avotu Johnson, the first country director, Vote Must Count International Initiative. Thank you for being part of the program.
Thank you for having me, Joy.
Yes, we also have here Comerade Monday Ogedengbe. He's the President's Global Center for Leadership and Good Governance. It's a pleasure to have you.
My pleasure.
Yes. I'm not sure when I have two handsome men with me. I guess I'll just start with Dr. You just flinched. Calm down. And then Dr. Barry Avotu. Let me start with you right here.
Okay.
Well, the 2023 polls have come and gone, yet we still have three Guba polls that INEC has pegged to happen on the 11th of November. What are those? Do you think that the recommendations that these civil society organizations, observers, both local and international, do you think those recommendations are indeed being put in place, or we will see an overwhelmed INEC?
Well, thank you. For me, I think I'm going to be speaking in regards to the influence of the civil society. And it's very clear that this same election umpire called INEC is not ready for any elections that will put Nigeria back on track. INEC is not a repented organization until the needful is done. The needful should be the replacement and the removal of people who were given the opportunity to serve as the leadership of INEC, and at the same time they failed to provide quality arrangement in the organization of the 2023 elections, most especially the presidential elections. So how could you now go ahead with a leadership that does not have the integrity that the public should be giving to them before an election?
I'm happy I've gotten your pulse on that. Ogedengbe, what's your take on it? Do you think INEC is ready and those recommendations are indeed going to be taken?
The issue of the off-season election is tied to the April 25th general election. In the first place, we had an election that lost its credibility due to the supervision given by Mahmoud. And today, we are talking of another election. Mahmoud is seated to conduct the same or to repeat the same maneuvering that he has done in the general election. I don't see any credibility there that we should expect that he will do magic. He can't do any magic other than still repeating the same class that he has failed.
Okay, now let's take it one at a time. I mean, INEC had come out to say they had hitches. Let's talk about the transmission. Premium time transmission of results that was promised Nigerians. Let's start from there. They had said they had hitches. They had people who were trying to get into the system. There were several reasons why they had those hurdles in publishing or getting those results in real time as promised. This, everybody understands that it happens. Technology is not foolproof. There's always room for hitches. So while nobody can be here to say that it's going to be foolproof this time, is it something you find a legitimate reason?
I think, you know, if you run back your cameras to before the elections took place, we saw a Mahmoud Yakubu who went all over the world, both in Chatham House, to inform the world of how he has finished a design of how he's going to host one of the best elections in the world.
So he had good intentions?
The intentions were not even just wrong. They were criminal, because he went against the law of the Electoral Act.
By announcing that he was winning? By announcing
someone who did not win election according to the result.
You know, we're not going there. Let's not preempt the court. That's
Joy, you see, sometimes when you want to talk about the future, which is tomorrow, these elections are coming tomorrow.
No, I'm just saying
what
that
we say today
the principles
has
of my
something
job
to do
with
tomorrow and yesterday. So that's why we are trying to, you know, push you back to what happened, why, how, when. He went all over the world to tell the world that this is what he was going to do. But he didn't do it.
In our conversation, you have to keep it within the bounds of the ethics that guides. You are a seasoned journalist yourself, so you understand what guides the profession.
Whatever we say.
Let's not preempt the court.
But whatever we say has something to do with the Electoral Act.
Yes. But
so the Electoral Act says nobody will be presented or declared as president-elect until you have 25% of votes in the FCT and 23 states.
Right.
According to the result released by INEC, did you see Asiwaju or Atiku or Peter Obi making those 25% votes in 23 states and the FCT? No, none of them made 23% and 25% according to the result released. So why was somebody declared? So that same INEC cannot, we have just told you, and will not give Nigerians the opportunity to enjoy the liberty of real elections, releasing real results, until this government castrate Mahmoud Yakubu as INEC chairman.
You're really going.
He has to be removed because he has nothing to offer. He was given the opportunity as the leader of INEC to give Nigeria a good result, but he did not. So why do you want to give somebody who failed another chance?
I understand your passion and your energy.
I failed class
emotions.
1. I failed class 1. You want to give me? You want to promote me to class 2?
I want you to keep it PG-13, please. There are some words you just cannot use on television. But I get where you're going. You are asking for the removal of the leadership of INEC so that we can see that
we can have credible elections.
That's in your words. But let me go to Ogedengbe right now. Is that something you have also said that in your words? However, like I said earlier, technology, it's not foolproof. There are rooms for those hitches that indeed the INEC leadership had said we had these hitches, and that is why we could not transmit results in premium time.
You see, what INEC tried to do is to be half smart. The same system, technology system that they set up, that produce the Senate and the House of Rep, could also not produce president for Nigerians. You see, what they will succeed in doing in the future is that they have disenfranchised Nigerians. There's what they call voter apathy. It's what will happen in the next election. People will not come out because they will just feel, what am I going to do? My vote will not count. Let them put who they want.
Okay.
And that's the first step to destroy democracy.
And that's a danger to democracy.
It's a very big danger to democracy.
And I'm happy I have civil society organizations right
here.
Now,
so now they are trying to kill our democracy with their fraudulent way and approach to electioneering process.
I would really like to know what exactly you find as INEC being culpable in the whole conduct of the past.
Okay, for instance, INEC has a span of about 9 days to take their time to declare.
Are we still talking about the declaration?
Yes. No, because it has.
Let's talk about the conduct of it. Let's review the conduct of it so that we can put it into perspective.
Okay.
Bringing up these 3 states that are coming up that have elections coming up.
So now
the conduct of it.
The only
before the elections, first
Yes.
of all, do you think awareness was enough? Do you think the civil
awareness
society
was enough? They went to Chatham House. They were everywhere, going to all radio stations. Mahmoud himself was everywhere in the television station, radio station, telling the world that we are ready. A lot of money was voted. The money required for that election was given to him at when due. So he doesn't have any reason to come out and tell us that this happened and this did not happen.
So hitches could not have been. That's what I just.
Then if hitches happened, the people who provide the technology for us,
Provide the answer.
should provide the answer. Let the people come and tell the court that, oh, this is what happened to our technology. Now let's verify those things. Those people cannot come.
Why not?
Let them come. Because they already told Nigerians that there was nothing that happened to their system. Server that day. That everything was all right.
Okay.
So now, how are we sure that the same umpire that conducted that same election is still seated? He has thrown everybody back to court. The judiciary are not supposed to be giving us our leaders. Elections are supposed to produce leaders for us. But now, INEC has commissioned the judiciary to be producing our leadership recruitment process for us.
Okay, you seem to have your biggest problem.
Yeah.
You seem to have your biggest problem with the presidential elections. So, in your words, do you believe that the gubernatorial elections, the House of Assembly elections, both state and the National House of Assembly elections, were credible, but for the president? Is that where you have your issues?
I think if you really play yourself back,
because I am asking because I suppose you observed.
If you play
your organization
yourself back
observed, right?
Cameras,
your organization
yes,
observed the elections.
We did observe
in all 774 local governments,
and we confirmed that some states were rigged, and that's where Peter Obi is in court. That's why Atiku is in court.
No, I'm asking you're intentionally not answering some of my questions. Are you saying that it is just the presidential elections you have qualms with? Or
we have problems in all the elections, but the one of the presidency became too glary. Because it was a systematic rigging. Rigging before the election. Denying agents the opportunity to have access to the server, to uplink results collated from the wards, from the area councils, or from the local government to the national. And that we did not see in the issue, like he said, on the House of Reps and Senate. So if you have H's, there's a computer, there's a production company who did that design for INEC.
Right.
Why not get back to that company for them to give you a feedback of the backlining? Because those equipments, the beavers operate like a computer.
Of course.
There's a backlining for every computer, so any lost file could be found in the backline of every computer device, even your telephone. So practically, there's a backup. So why did INEC not wait for the 9 days prevented by the Electoral Act to make a review of whatever result released or announced? They just went ahead to announce somebody. So what makes you think they will not come to Edo and announce anybody? What makes you think they won't go to Imo and announce their own person? What makes you think they won't go to Bayelsa and announce their own person? So practically all we are saying is this INEC chairman at the moment needs to be discarded as the leadership. All the commissioners of INEC needs to be erased. Let them live there, new people appointed, and you will see the jacking back of the trust of the Nigerian people in this election coming up for 3 states. That's what we should do. That's what a reality provides when there's a systematic review after elections.
Right. Are you asking this leadership, who are you asking to do away with the leadership of INEC? Is it the president who and the political, the All Progressive Congress, for instance, who is the beneficiary
of the fraud?
No, I would rather you do not use such words, especially because, like I said, we cannot preempt. Court is in court right now. I want you to be unemotional in your analysis. Well, I think it's just time to go for a very short break, as we really have gone half hour into it. When we come back, I'll try to get my guests in the studio to be a little unemotional, to talk about issues which are the key performance indicators that would ensure that the 3 states that will have the off-season elections would be free, fair, and indeed credible. This is still Joyasonyelive. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back from that short break. If you've been following us, we're discussing preparations towards the off-season polls in Nigeria. We have 3 states. We have Bayelsa, Imo, Kogi State, and I've been trying to get my emotional guests really to be a little less emotional and get into the issues. We have Dr. Barry Avotu Johnson, the first country director of Vote Must Count International Initiative. And we also have Comrade Ayo Monday Ogedengbe, President, Global Center for Leadership and Good Governance. Okay, let's go to Bayelsa. There are many, there's a long chain of activities before elections, and I really want us to get into several aspects. I know you are all pumped up to talk about the past general elections, but let's get into the states that are going to conduct their elections. Let's talk about this apathy. You brought up apathy, the threat of having people uninterested in participating in the elections. What do you think the civil society organizations, political parties, and indeed the umpire, INEC, can do so that people gain the trust again and indeed participate?
It will be difficult for any Nigeria to trust INEC at the moment.
Really?
It will be very difficult because Nigerians were enthusiastic when 2023 general election was coming up. You see people, everybody, it was like a carnival of a sort. People were expectant and say, oh, all these laws that we've been able to pass through Alhaji Muhammad Buhari will help to, galvanize our electoral process to give us what we actually want. But today, you saw it all, how it happens. And now you are setting up another election after an election that came to wound every Nigerian.
Are you sure it's every Nigerian? Because at the moment,
when you say every Nigerian, you're talking about majority of Nigerians.
I know a lot of Nigerians who are excited at the turnout of the election.
There can never be a lot of Nigerians.
I know a lot of Nigerians, I can tell you that.
Are you excited?
I am excited. I mean, we are seeing the...
Then that shows that you need to x-ray your journalistic mentality.
Oh,
because
really?
we saw how even journalists have been abused in the presidential election.
I saw that too, but it's not worse than it has been before. In fact, it is better now. The past elections was way better.
Let me tell you, what happened in the 2023 presidential elections hosted by INEC is a coup against the Nigerian people.
That's in your words. That's your opinion.
That's exactly what it is.
We do not share that opinion. I would
it's
rather
a coup that involved Ahmed, Bola, Tinubu, Muhammadu Buhari, and the APC.
Well, that's in your
opinion. It's a coup against the Nigerian people, because show me the people who celebrated when they announced a president-elect. In the history of Nigeria, this is the most looked-warmed announcement done in the wee hours, in the dead hours of the night. That shows you that there's something wrong. If you're talking about the Bayelsa election, we all know that the elections in Bayelsa is going to be hot because of the players on board.
Now let's talk about that. Why do you think it will be hot?
The Timipre Silva gate. He has so much money.
He does.
So much oil money to give to the people. He was governor sometime. He's coming back again. He has some credibility that we should also look at. The governor, incumbent governor, Diri, is also there. So much money in his purse. He has the people with him. And we have the Labour Party candidate who is new, who is young, who is ready to beat these two men together. So practically, we should be looking at a wrestling ring in Bayelsa, just like Imo. But now we're talking about Bayelsa. It's going to be an explicit battle between these three political parties and these three men who, we have two of them who have tested power and one who has not seen any power at all. So it's going to be a gang-up between...
I don't think it's right to, it's right to say Udeng's Radiri has never seen power before.
He has not seen power before. He has never been governor before.
Maybe.
He has never been governor before.
No,
so
maybe.
Yes, he has never been governor before. So Timipre Silva has a chance because he has the governor influence as a former. The governor incumbent is there, Diri. You know what it means to sit tight in the politics of Nigeria. So it's going to be a big political wrestling ring that we need an INEC that is astute, an INEC that will be truthful, an INEC that knows the influence of true democracy, an INEC that will help unite the Bayelsa people.
Okay.
So practically, Vote Must Count International Initiative is going to be on ground. We are going to make sure that we comb every polling unit to tell the world who won that election.
Right. Okay.
Just like the way we did in the presidency.
Let me get to Comrade Ogedengbe. He just talked about the INEC that will be astute, the INEC that is standing firm for what is right. INEC has often been applauded for off-season elections. Could it be that they are not overwhelmed and this time we'll see an INEC we will be proud of, or you will be proud of?
The challenge INEC will have in this election is simple. They have conducted an election that is considered to be the worst ever. So they have image problem. Now, it will be difficult for them to convince the people, okay, because it's still the same leadership you have in place. And the people of Bayelsa will not, on their own, encourage INEC to change their style. It has become the style of INEC to come, conduct election, and choose who to give.
Who to give?
Who to give.
A good thing you are civil society organizations.
Yes.
Let's take this responsibility or pressure right now from INEC now. Because
who do we give the pressure
I want to understand where you can be of help. What are you doing to ensure that you believe in your words that INEC is compromised?
Yes.
So if you believe this, are you giving up on Nigeria and the electoral processes or the democracy in Nigeria? Or what is your organization intending to do so that these loopholes may be exposed, maybe do not even see the light of day?
If I don't give up, what will I do? Will I have gone to the filling station and tell them I want to buy in my own price? What will I do? Will the INEC announce and ask you to go to court and you say you won't go to court?
I'm sure you too have learned lessons after the past election.
Whatever lesson you must have learned. If INEC has been empowered by the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria, INEC will do what they will do and they will ask you to go to court. Now they've been able to pass the ball of leadership choice to the court. And you also know that going to court is very expensive. So now they now consistently pile the pressure on contestants. You understand it now? So now the contestants now you say, this election safe, so whatever I can do to make sure I win it first hand, I'll win it. So they're going to adopt different strategy. No matter how violent it is, no matter how fraudulent it is, no matter how corrupt it is.
Okay.
They want to adopt strategies to go for this election and just, okay, let me just get the first ballot and the other person should go to court.
Well, Ogedengbe seems to have given up on Nigeria because he feels like INEC would do what INEC would do. But what is the vote must count in international initiative going to do differently? I mean, having learned lessons from the past election.
Well, I think the vote must count will still do what we are built to do. Bring out people in every polling unit in every election on election day. And
bring
monitor,
out people, what do you mean?
Bring out agents. we are moving on our agents like we did in the presidency. Now it's governorship and it's off season, so it's going to be easy for us to operate. Meaning that word to word, we are going to have polling unit agents, supervisors to go around and see and give us first-hand information of who lost and who won and what happened in every situation at the polling units. And we are going to also announce our own results of who won immediately INEC announces theirs. But I know that the people will agree to take the result released by us after the release of INEC.
Do you have the resources?
We have a law in Nigeria that says it's only INEC that should release results. If you go to good countries who understand democracy.
I don't know what you mean by good countries.
If you go to countries who are civilized, who understand democracy, you will see that even the media and observers have rights to release the result based on the information that they get from the streets.
From the umpire. At all times, it's always from the umpire.
Not from the umpire.
They
are supervisors. They are independent election monitors. So they know what happened. But they have the right to hold a press conference and tell the world this is what they saw. Just like media organizations have indeed done. But you see, we have to wait for INEC to announce their own.
It is relative. I don't know what country you're referring to as
the United States,
civilized
Great Britain,
countries.
France.
There is no country where the media publishes results. Everything you see
during the presidential election in America,
you
can see the media telling you that Florida is leading with. So that's a release of results,
right?
But the original calculation of the ballots before that's
the former now.
Yes,
the ballot is with the media. That's not true.
Who is the ballot? Who is the media? The media is a watchdog to tell the people what's happening. So are you saying that your media cannot tell the world that right now in Amak,
this result has
been announced by INEC and this is it?
Of course I can do that.
So that is the same thing we are saying.
Exactly.
But the real result that we collated during the elections will be officially released in a report statement after INEC must have done theirs.
Okay, let's go
I know the people will receive our own more because we are ready to move our country forward.
You that seems to be so emotional.
I am not emotional. I am emotional and serious about how our country can get
Ogedengbe right now. There are several other aspects of elections that make or mar the elections. Let's talk about the violence that sometimes we had pockets of violence, that's for sure, during the past elections. So how can Nigeria curb these elections now that it's not like the general elections? The concentration will be more. There are also people who are afraid that there might be people who have too much time on their hands during this period.
You are talking about security of the election. The security of this election that is coming is cannot be said to be airtight.
Why not?
If you check very well in the general election, the securities are bought over by certain candidates.
That is the federal security architecture.
Yes, and I can give you example. I can give you example where security people, there are videos, they are there. If you want me to send those videos to you after this broadcast, session, I'll send them to you. Where a policeman will stand and somebody will come, hijack the ballot, and be going. We'll see him walking gallantly and be going.
Well, I can't depend on some of the videos I see because first of all, I can't verify those videos.
Okay,
I
so
did see several, some of which.
Did you also see MC Olomo when he was at the polling this thing and he was boasting and was telling certain people? So now those are and the security personnel are there.
No arrest.
No arrest.
No question.
So now, where is the trust for security agencies?
You seem very bleak tonight. Is everything all right? Because I'm looking for solutions, and you're not giving me solutions.
The only solution is when you get the right person in position of power. Okay, who does not come from the back door to enter the seat of power? The seat of power, you are supposed to come, you approach it. You're not supposed to come from back to come and take the seat of power. So now, those people that come from the back door to hijack power cannot even have the peace to settle down to put anything in place. In the first place, they don't even have the character to give what they don't have.
Right. And to Dr. Barry Avotu Johnson, before that, prior to the general elections, I remember there was campaign from civil society organizations, shun financial inducements, shun violence, do what is right, vote your conscience. Do you think we have enough of that now? Or now that the general elections are over, everybody is like, okay, there's these 3 states, they're on their own.
We might have very low-key elections in these 3 states. And the only reason you want to have full participation of the Nigerian youths, the obedience, the group people who want good governance for Nigeria has to do with the honest removal.
No, we've gone past that.
No, I'm telling you that is going to be the only way Nigerians will come out in this election.
I'm not talking about that. We're talking about awareness. We're talking about advocacy.
It boils down to awareness too, because
let's talk about
what
advocacy.
Kind of awareness do you want to give by keeping the same demons in the room?
The umpires
remove the demons and do the awareness according to the calendar of the elections.
The umpires' work begins and starts at a certain time, but the awareness that the electorate need.
A lot of people will shun the awareness because you are still keeping the demon in the room. INEC leadership needs to be discarded for a new group, and that is going to be a sweet journey for the promotion of these elections. That's what we're saying.
Avotu Johnson, what you're saying right now is that as long as the leadership of INEC as it is right now remains, Nigeria would not have credible elections. That's right. Your words.
That's right.
Now, is there any way we can salvage it in any way? We have the technology that would deliver good elections, if you ask me. There's everything put in place for that. But you still have some... I don't know, is this some vendetta?
When you have a blind man driving a car, what happens to the man and the people?
Do you have a personal anger with
the leadership
of INEC?
Of course I do.
Or it's just...
Of course I do. I have a personal issue with Mahmoud Yakubu and his leadership.
Was this after the elections, or it has always been?
After the elections, because they are not credible. Did you not want to tell the world that we saw the criminality of the elections? We saw it. The world saw it. Why are we shying away from the truth? Until INEC's leadership, until Mahmoud Yakubu is removed as INEC chairman, with the commissioners, the Okoye man and the lady there, they need to go.
This is
we
because
don't
your
need
party
them.
Didn't win.
We don't need them. We don't need them because they don't love democracy.
This is only because your party did not win.
No, my party did not win according to the result released by INEC. But my party won the 2023 presidential election because the Nigerian people came out and they voted. Right. We are not even talking about that. We are talking about the criminality of INEC's leadership on the elections. Will you be happy to be in a car driven by a blind man?
I do not believe that.
You cannot accept to be in a car. INEC's leadership is a blind leadership and they must go. We are calling on the leadership of Nigerian government at this time. Remove the INEC chairman, remove the commissioners, replace them with quality and credible people, and you will see the Nigerian people will come out and support good governance and quality leadership by the elections that is coming. It's a simple thing. You cannot be making progress in a wrong direction. You cannot be making progress in error. All we are saying, this government, if you need Nigeria to move forward, remove Mahmoud Yakubu, remove the commissioners, and you will see a Bayelsa election that is sweet. You will see an Imo election that is sweet. You will see a Edo coming election that will be sweet. So it's a clear manifestation. Nigerians are tired and they are ready to move their country forward by coming out to perform their civic duties as citizens of their country.
Right, and should this not happen, if it doesn't go the barrier voter way, you do not see.
Don't call it. Don't see. The removal of INEC chairman should not be the barrier voter Johnson way. It should be the way of the Nigerian people. Why? I'm a Nigerian. I have the right to ask for the removal of INEC chairman because we don't believe in whatever he is doing.
But there are a lot of other Nigerians that believe in what he's doing.
Go and check all those who love the activities of Mahmoud Yakubu as the leadership of INEC. They are the people who committed the criminality in the election. They are the people. Go and watch. If the EU could give a report saying that the leadership of INEC does not have capacity,
that's not what it says.
That's what they said.
In and out.
Madam, if you come to my house and I don't want you to drink water, I'll bring a dirty cup and pour water and give to you. That's what the report means. Look, the world is waiting for this administration to announce the removal of INEC chairman and his commissioners so that the Nigerian people can come out and give us their votes for good leadership, quality governance, and the respect for the rule of law. Mahmoud Yakubu and his commissioners must go. They are not credible enough to conduct any election for Bayelsa, for Imo, and for where again?
Okay, that's his opinion.
Kogi State.
But how do you feel? He's talking about the world waiting for the leadership of INEC to be removed. However, we're also seeing the world rally around the president who emerged from the conduct of the elections. What's your take on that part?
It's about the constitution of Nigeria.
Exactly.
A fraudulent constitution that would allow...
You also believe that the Nigerian constitution is fraudulent?
Yes.
The Nigerian constitution
I will explain to you.
I would like to hear why
a constitution that will allow somebody you are in contest with to be in power, to pretend over an allegation against him.
He's not pretending. How is the president pretending over court
if you need
matters?
to choose an INEC chairman, who chooses INEC chairman?
The Chief Justice of the Federation. Who appoints him?
Who appoints the Chief Justice of the Federation?
Right.
So it becomes a threat to the life and the job of these people we have just mentioned.
You're the judge on your own case.
So they are the one that influences this thing, because if I hire you, I can fire you.
Right.
So if you know I'll fire you and you're enjoying the job, the paraphernalia of the job, the office, the paraphernalia of the office, and the largesse that come with the office, will you do anything against me?
If I hold a dignified office as that of the Chief Justice, by
so
all
please,
means, yes.
the Chief Justice of the Federation, the man seated on the presidential tribunal, please be dignified. We are telling you today to be dignified, do the right thing.
Yes,
please,
as they have promised to do.
Please, do the right thing. Don't promise and fail like Mahmoud Yakubu. Make sure you do the right thing to give justice, not judgment. Thank you.
And if anything happens to Nigeria after a subverted judgment, this administration should be held responsible.
I do not think anything will happen to
Nigeria.
It would
move
remain as
forward
united
with the best judgment for our country to develop.
Barry Avotu Johnson, well, I would not have that on my show, especially because, like I said earlier, it's preempting the court, and it seems like if it doesn't go your way, it is not the right way.
Of course, our way is the right way, because Nigerians voted and their votes must count. You know,
because
remember,
if like I said, I do not want to get there because I do not want to preempt the court. However, we have three contestants who are battling for this. Three contestants with discrepancies in their results. So if you want to go there, frankly, we will not end this conversation.
Madam, but what would be
must count. You represent our vote must count. And there are three different results. Must count. However, in our parting words, what would be your parting words for citizens or electorates who are gearing up for these elections in spite of the hitches that was faced during the general elections?
Well, I would like to use this opportunity to greet all Nigerians, to hail all Nigerians for the peace they have held back for since the presidential election result was released and inauguration came, and we have a good new leader and we are running. Thank you so much for making Nigeria a peaceful place. But I want to call out all Nigerian youths, all obedient in what's it called, in Imo, in Bayelsa, in Kogi. Get ready to make sure that you vote for the person that will move your state forward. Don't be cowed by anyone. Don't collect money from anyone to vote. This is the time to move Nigeria forward. And I beg you and I ask you to join us to ask this government to sack Mahmoud Yakubu and his commissioners so that we can have trust in the forthcoming elections. Thank you.
Okay, your turn. What would be your parting gift to those gearing up for election?
My parting word to would be to the Nigerian people who are in these 3 states that have off-season election. They should not look back. They should consistently look forward towards the election and make sure they vote. Because if you want to close your eyes for the bad people, when the good people are passing, you definitely will not see them. So please go out there and go and vote. And to the judiciary, please do justice, not judgment. We beg you, so that you won't turn this country upside down, because people are waiting for you to correct yourself and put yourself in the light of credibility.
Thank you, gentlemen, for being part of the program. Well, this is where we draw the curtains on Joyasonyelive. We've been discussing with Dr. Barry Avotu Johnson the First. He's the country director of Vote Must Count International Initiative. We also had Comrade Ayomonde Ogedengbe, President Global Center for Leadership and Good Governance. Thank you, gentlemen, once again.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, so do have a wonderful evening, and be rest assured we'll be back tomorrow with so much more. Do have a wonderful evening.